You've seen ghost videos before. I know you have. I mean, after all, you watch this channel. But have you seen this? Or possibly that. Or maybe even this one. These aren't your usual shaky recordings or hoaxes. What you're about to see might just make you rethink what's really out there. My name's Steve. This is Classified Captures. Now remember, if you want me to comment on your post, make sure you put Steve in capital letters so I can see clearly that you want me to say hi. Thank you very much. Now, on to the first one. This image was taken along the Brazil-Peru border, and it's been causing quite a stir online since it was uploaded. It appears to show what looks like a giant bird-like creature with the body of a lion, almost exactly like the mythical Griffon described in ancient legends. This photo shows the creature standing near a forested area, and its large wings and tail are clearly visible. Of course, creatures like griffins are considered mythological from ancient Greece and Mesopotamian art. It's half eagle, half lion, and a symbol of power and protection. Seeing something like that in modern photographs sounds impossible. Still, opinions are split. Some people say the image must be edited, others think it might be an unknown species that resembles the mythical creature. You've seen it, so what do you think we're dealing with here? This dash cam footage from a woman driving through Avondale, Arizona is definitely eerie. Late at night, a camera picked up something on the side of the road. It was a pale, thin figure crouched on all fours. Its proportions didn't quite match a human either. Even when slowed down, the shape seemed unnatural, giving it that unsettling edge. Now, Avondale has long been rumored to be a hotspot for paranormal sightings, especially skinwalkers from Navajo legend said to take on animal or hybrid forms. Those who believe in such things claim the footage fits the description perfectly. Skeptics, on the other hand, suggest it could be a distorted shadow or even an animal caught in an odd angle. Two sisters preparing for a sleepover came across a strange-looking cart across the street filled with baby dolls. They got to investigate it and then later go to their home to pick up items they believe they need. The funny thing about this is they go in without closing their door, probably because they felt they would be out shortly. Things, however, took a strange turn when a woman walked into one of their homes holding something in her hand and speaking in a flat, robotic tone. Her words were along the lines of, "I don't come into your home to mess with your things, so don't mess with mine." She was referring to the cart of dolls the girls had gone to investigate. She then turned around and left without another word. The moment the girls noticed, one rushed to slam the door shut. But when they rewatched the footage later, they saw something they hadn't noticed earlier. As the woman stepped through the doorway, a dark, misty shadow seemed to slither along the floor right behind her, almost as if it was following her or attached to her. People online think the woman was simply unwell or acting out of paranoia, but that doesn't explain the small being. This has led some to believe that either she's cursed the girls or that a small thing was an entity either attached to her or linked to the dolls she carried. If you had ever an encounter like this and saw this on your own security footage, would you ever sleep in your house again?
Hurry up. I don't go to your house and mess with your shit, so don't mess with mine.
Next, we got an update on the mysterious Atlas object that's reportedly heading toward Earth. The professor who's been closely tracking it has now revealed that scientists have detected a trail of metallic alloys following behind Atlas. And here's the shocking part. These alloys are not of earthly origin. That means whatever this object is, it could be carrying or composed of materials never found on Earth before. Some researchers are now suggesting this might point to advanced alien technology, possibly fragments from a massive craft or probes traveling through space. The object is still moving steadily toward our planet, and while officials haven't made any public confirmation yet, the data coming out of the independent observatories has many people on edge. Could this really be an alien ship approaching Earth, or just an unexplained cosmic anomaly? In Cucuta, Colombia, people were left stunned when a blinking light appeared in the night sky. Yeah, the night sky. One man stuck in traffic recorded the footage from inside his car, and you can see several others outside their vehicle staring up in disbelief. The light seemed to hover in place, moving slightly but never fading, which ruled out airplanes or drones for many viewers. The footage quickly went viral, with some claiming it shows a UFO craft cloaked in darkness, its shape only outlined by the rhythmic blinking lights. Others argue it's just edited or drone footage. Still, the synchronized motion and sudden color change have convinced many that what people saw that night over Cucuta might not be something from this world. This video shows what starts as a wholesome family moment. These two kids are playing in an open field while their mother films from a short distance away. But as the camera pans slightly, something massive can be seen emerging from the tree line behind them all. The figure appears tall, broad-shouldered, and distinctly humanoid, moving with heavy, deliberate steps. You can even hear the mother gasp before shouting for her kids to run toward her, clearly panicked by what she's seeing. At first, it looks eerily similar to Bigfoot. It has dark fur, long arms, and that towering frame often described in countless sightings. But skeptics argue that the footage might just be a person in a costume. Still, the one reaction of the mother and the size of the figure make it hard to dismiss entirely. What do you think?
Yeah, hang on. Oh my gosh. Kids, come here. Right now. Come to me. Just come. Run. Let's go. Hurry. Run to me now!
This footage is truly chilling. It shows a young girl opening the door to her apartment complex, unaware that a hooded man is standing nearby watching her. As soon as she opens the door, she steps inside, trying to appear casual but clearly waiting for his chance. The girl sees this and walks in. From another camera inside the building, we see the girl heading up the stairs while the man hides behind a wall, watching her movements. When she continues up toward the apartments, he quietly steps out and begins to follow her. Thankfully, footage from another hallway camera shows her arriving at a door and ringing the bell, realizing she's being followed. A resident opens the door and the hooded man immediately turns around and leaves, but not before being noticed. The resident quickly chases after him, forcing the suspect to flee the building. It's a terrifyingly close call, but the girl's quick awareness and the sharp reaction of the resident likely saved her from something far worse. Being alert to your surroundings, even in familiar places, can sometimes make all the difference. Two friends booked rides to the same destination using the same ride-hailing app, but from different phones. One had around 20% battery and the other about 70%. When they compared fares, the person with the lower battery was charged almost $80 more, even though everything else from the time, distance, and location were identical. So they contacted the company to ask why, but all they got was a vague, "We'll get back to you." Soon after, others on Reddit and social media started sharing similar experiences. That's where the theory began. Some believe that ride apps use AI-driven algorithms that quietly track your battery level. When your battery is low, the system assumes you're desperate to get home and less likely to wait to compare prices, so it automatically raises the fare. The companies, of course, deny this completely, insisting the prices depend only on demand, distance, and driver availability. But the pattern seems a little too consistent to be a coincidence. If this theory is true, then it means that the apps are using AI to manipulate behavior for profit. So what other personal data might they be tracking without our explicit consent? And how much control do we really have over what our phones are silently sharing? A man working as a security guard at a crematorium decided to record one of his shifts after experiencing weeks of unexplained activity. He told his family about it before, but no one believed him, so this time he brought his phone to capture proof. The footage starts with him walking through the crematorium area, speaking calmly to the camera as he checks the rooms. Suddenly, the microphone picks up. Moments later, he hears a clattering noise coming from the urn storage room. As he approaches, you can hear the sound of metal shifting. He pans the camera toward a shelf filled with urns, and one of the lids starts sliding on its own, scraping against the pot. The moment he sees it move, he freezes for a second before deciding to bolt. As he runs out of the exit, he looks back, and the heavy curtains at the doorway suddenly sway as if something unseen had walked out after him. I think his family, well beyond any doubt, believe him now.
Freaking out.
Everyone loves a beautiful view, and the person who took this photo thought it was just that, a quiet moment alone in the mountains capturing the serenity of nature. But when they looked back at the image later, something strange stood out. Down in the lower right corner of the picture, there appears to be a small figure of a little girl dressed in white, standing completely still and staring straight toward the camera. She looks pale, almost faded with light hair and an expressionless face. The photographer swore no one else was around that day, and they hadn't seen another soul for miles. So seeing the image left them shaken. Many who've seen it think it's a ghost. What do you think? There's been a lot of talk online about Atlas, or as some are saying, the thing heading for Earth. We've mentioned it a few times before, but the story just keeps evolving and it's not going anywhere soon. Astrophysicist MacLeod has claimed that this isn't just some random space debris or asteroid. According to him, the readings suggest it could actually be a massive craft moving toward Earth, not to collide but to hover just outside our orbit. He believes it could be advanced technology created by an intelligent civilization far beyond our own. Loeb says we might see it by early December, which has only fueled the growing frenzy online. Still, no major space agency or government has confirmed anything yet. NASA and the other observatories haven't released official statements, so the public is left with speculation. If it is real, it could be one of the biggest discoveries in human history. A young man had been collecting strange and possibly cursed objects. His sister decided to set up a camera in his room, but not for paranormal reasons. He was sitting nearby while he appeared distracted on his phone. But when they later reviewed the test footage, they noticed something neither of them had seen in real time. Just over his shoulder, a pale, misty shape begins to form, and within seconds, it takes on the vague outline of a snout resembling that of a dog or a goat. Then, just as it becomes clearer, the shape vanishes instantly, dissolving into thin air. His sister now believes the manifestation might be connected to the objects her brother has been collecting. One of them could be carrying a spiritual attachment or residual energy. So, do you think it's something from his collection? I had to watch this footage several times to really process what was going on. A woman was at home while her security camera captured something terrifying at the doorway. A young son was standing just outside as a massive crocodile was slowly stalking toward him from the yard. You can hear the mother start screaming for him to come inside, panic in her voice, but the boy does not move. Instead, he calmly tells her he's feeding the reptile candy. In an instant, she rushes outside, grabs him and pulls him to safety just as the crocodile inches closer. The boy had no idea how much danger he was really in, and honestly, the footage is just terrifying. What would you do in that situation?
Mommy, is that a crocodile?
I'm just giving him candy, Mom. No! Get inside right now! Get away from it! I need to get inside now! Mommy, open it! Get it! No!
Now, everybody knows you do not feed a crocodile candy. Good God. They prefer chocolate. A man working the night shift at a cemetery shared some chilling footage that's been making waves online. According to him, it was just another quiet night when he drove up close to the main gate. As he parked and slowly panned his camera toward the area, everything seemed normal until he turned back towards his car. Sitting quietly in the driver's seat was a little girl. Startled, he asked her who she was and how she got there, but before he could get a clear answer, her face began to distort and fade into a ghostly, transparent figure, and then the video abruptly cut off. Given that he works at a cemetery, many believe the figure could have been a spirit attached to the grounds, maybe even a ghost of a child buried there. Others, however, think the entire thing might have been a well-executed jump scare. What do you think?
Como cuando uno se descuida que va a abrir la puerta y después viene al carro y hay una niña que no sabe ni de dónde salió y todo por acá está cerrado. Cerrado, cerrado, cerrado. Y aquí voy a entrar. Apareció esta niña aquí sentada mientras yo iba a ver lo de la puerta. ¿Cómo te llamas?
A security guard working the late-night shift at Hotel Tamaulipas shared this eerie footage that's been unsettling viewers. He said it was just past midnight when he was about to enter the building, but then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw something moving along the side of the building. It was a tall, dark figure standing completely still near the corner. The moment the figure realized it had been seen, it quickly retreated into the shadows and vanished. The guards searched the area but found no one in there. Some people think it was an intruder dressed in black, while others believe it was paranormal. But the guard believes the latter because that hotel is rumored to be haunted by a spirit, and he believes that he just came face to face with it. Back in 2012, a group of photographers in Venice went on a photo excursion through a wooded area surrounded by tall, beautiful trees. Everything seemed normal as they took their shots. It wasn't until later that night, while reviewing their negatives, that they noticed something strange. In one of the photos, there appears to be a faint, whitish, smoke-like figure, and when you look closely, it seems to have the outline of a shoulder and the back of a person. The rest of the body fades into nothing, like it was dissolving into the air. The photographer said no one was standing there when the shot was taken, and no fog or mist was present that day. Some believe they might have captured a spirit, while others argue it could just be an optical illusion caused by light and motion blur. Still, it's hard to ignore how human that shape looks. What do you think it is? The remains of a Native American woman dating back nearly 1,000 years has sparked interest among historians and archaeologists. DNA testing revealed that she was of indigenous American descent, yet her bones were discovered in Europe. Researchers believe she may have been brought across the Atlantic by Vikings centuries before Columbus ever set sail. This aligns with growing evidence that Norse explorers reached North America around the year 1000 and may have even interacted with the local indigenous peoples. If true, her presence in Europe could be one of the earliest known examples of transatlantic contact. One is considered as being S8 because there is a case where people are now questioning that. A woman who worked for DoorDash shared a video online after she was fired, followed by what she described as SA. She said she arrived at a customer's home, and when she noticed the door was unlocked, she stepped inside to drop off the order, only to find a man lying completely naked on the floor. Shocked, she took pictures and reported it to DoorDash, saying she'd just been SA'd because she was forced to see him that way. However, DoorDash later terminated her employment, explaining that she violated company policy, which requires drivers to leave deliveries at the doorstep and never enter a customer's home. This story has sparked a heated debate online. Some people agree with her, saying that being exposed to a naked person without consent is still a form of SA. Others argue that while the experience was uncomfortable, it doesn't fit the traditional definition of SA and that she shouldn't have entered the house in the first place. So has the definition of SA changed, and where do we draw the line between indecent exposure and true assault?
I was literally working and they deactivated me. This is related. They just punished me for posting about my sexual assault while door dashing. They just fired me.
That's up.
I'm sorry, but in my opinion, this woman is in the wrong. If she walks into someone's house and they're stark bollock naked, that's her fault, not his. Good God, if I want to walk around naked in my house and someone comes into my door and they see me naked, tough. A man had recently moved into a remote property deep in the woods, completely fenced off with metal barricades for safety. Randomly, a woman appeared outside the fence claiming she had come to see his dogs. That immediately raised red flags because she shouldn't have known he even had dogs, and he didn't know her at all. Despite his refusal to let her in, she became increasingly insistent, even trying to pry open the gate while repeating her request to come inside. When it became clear the man wouldn't let her through, she suddenly cursed at him. The encounter left him shaken. Some people who saw the footage believe she could have been under some kind of trance or possessed, while others think she might have been a vampire, a witch, considering how obsessed she seemed to be to being invited in. So what do you make of this?
Sorry, what'd you just say?
I heard you had these beautiful black German shepherds here, so I came down to say hi.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Is it okay if I come in? Just for a quick second.
Oh, no, we don't really allow visitors in. How do you even know they were here?
Somebody told me. This is where you...
How did you get here? How did you get here?
I mean, this is like the only... There's like...
No, don't open the gate. Like I said, the dogs in the back, they are not as friendly as the ones that are out here, so please don't open the gate.
I'll show you. It's just going to be a quick second.
No, not today. Maybe another time, but we're not allowing visitors.
Which is really what we think they are, the cackling women in black dresses and white hats we see in movies, because one woman swears she saw one in her own backyard. A yard opens into a large field, and one foggy morning as she stepped outside, she noted a figure standing in the mist. It was a woman in a wide hat and long black dress with that classic witch-like chuckle echoing faintly through the fog. She froze, completely stunned by what she was seeing. But let's be real. Could it have been a neighbor playing a prank, or maybe someone dressed up like that to scare her? It does look real, but it's a spooky season, so this could just be a neighbor who's really into Halloween. A group of nurses decided to explore a section of the hospital rumored to be haunted, and what they captured on camera has everyone on edge. As they entered one of the old rooms, the heavy door suddenly slammed shut right in their faces. Startled, they kept moving, and not far ahead, another door began banging open and shut on its own over and over. Later in the same hospital, 2 cleaners went into an empty pediatric ward to do their rounds. One of them opened a door that was supposed to stay locked, and the moment she did, she screamed and fell backwards before running out of the room with the other following. They later claimed to have seen a little ghostly girl standing by the bed, and in the footage, the door could be seen shifting slightly before slamming shut on its own. In another clip, a worker went to inspect the doctor's lounge after reports of voices can be heard. The place looked completely abandoned, but as the person walked past a window, you could faintly see a pale figure peering out before vanishing. The worker said she felt dizzy but had no idea what was right behind the glass. So could this hospital really be haunted, or are these all just eerie coincidences?
And it's just all it does is that. Huh? She gonna slam it on you.
Take a look at this incredible phenomenon. Mushrooms that transform into birds. It's truly astonishing to watch. One moment you're looking at a cluster of ordinary mushrooms, and in the blink of an eye, they undergo a breathtaking transformation into birds. Just imagine the marvel of witnessing such a change in real time. The transformation is so fluid and convincing that it almost feels like magic. The mushrooms begin to shift and morph, their textures and colors blending seamlessly into the form of birds. It's as if nature itself is performing a spellbinding dance of creation. Now, while this might look like something straight out of a fantasy film, well, of course, it's actually CGI. The level of detail and realism in the animation is truly impressive. We always have to be very vigilant and conscious of our surroundings, no matter how comfortable the atmosphere is. Take a look at this footage that was taken in Australia. A family spent the weekend at a beach house. One night, they were out by the sea taking pictures and goofing around. The mother was recording videos of her 2 kids. You can see the little boy running around all happy, which reminds me of the good old days. Sorry, I digressed. Now, in this clip here, the little girl is making silly faces at the camera. Everything seems normal until the family reviews the footage and notices something chilling. There behind the little girl is a pale creature crouched on all fours. They hadn't even noticed or sensed anything was off that day. The only evidence of this creature being there was captured in the footage. The creature's appearance is eerie and unsettling, with its pale, almost translucent skin and elongated limbs. The family was shocked and terrified when they discovered this in their video. This sighting has sparked a lot of speculation. Some suggest it might be a cryptid like the infamous rake, while others think it could be a hoax. However, given the family's genuine reaction and the fact that they didn't notice the creature at the time, it's hard to dismiss this as mere fabrication. Could this be evidence of a mysterious creature lurking near the beach house, or is this family trying to mislead us for their 5 minutes of fame? Share your thoughts. We've seen aliens before, and this clip is no different. In the clip, we see what looks like a grey alien exploring our lands. A few seconds in, and we see its ship among others. A few years ago, this would have been very exciting, but today many who saw this clip believe it's just AI generated. I'm not saying every alien clip is AI generated, but there's something about this one we just can't seem to shake off. We looked at it several times, and even Aaron is starting to think this particular one is AI generated. You've seen the clip for yourselves. What do you think? Yeah, I wish I could tell you I know what that is, but I don't. I've seen weird things, but this is definitely top 5. It looks like the living face of a cow or a bull with limbs that are capable of moving it. I know my description doesn't make sense, but this creature doesn't either. I wanted to say AI, but typically AI clips have portions of the clips that glitch or are inconsistent for no reason. This particular one doesn't have that meaning. It's real, or at least I suspect it is, but what do you guys think? This footage, captured in the sky at an unknown location, shows a strange object moving rapidly and rotating as it speeds through the air. Its erratic movements and high speed make it difficult to identify as any convenient aircraft or drone. The way it twists and turns seems to defy typical flight patterns. Is this UFO related, or could it be something more mundane? Could it be a cutting-edge piece of technology, an experimental aircraft, or perhaps something out of this world? Share your thoughts. We've all heard those wild rumors about celebrities being cloned, but what if I told you some stars may actually hire stand-ins to take their place? Sure, we know actors have stunt doubles, but what about singers? Take this recent Usher concert, for example. Fans noticed something strange about the performance. Before the concert, it was reported that Usher had injured his neck and a few shows were even cancelled. But when he finally hits the stage, fans couldn't believe but noticed that something was off. Just look at this guy. He doesn't look much like the Usher we all know. I mean, a clone would have been a closer match. Even the voice didn't seem right. Could it be possible that Usher hired someone else to perform as him? If anyone has more info on what was at that concert, feel free to drop your thoughts in the comments section.
Yeah!
In this next footage, a strange craft was spotted in the sky, moving at an odd, mesmerizing way. It had this unusual glow or light in its center, almost resembling a missile or beam spinning in circles as it moved. The footage is quite blurry, making it hard to identify exactly what the object could be, but its movements and glowing center left many baffled. What I'm most curious about is the light that is spinning. What is that about? Aaron confidentially claimed it was a UFO, pointing to the erratic behavior and strange circling light as evidence of something extraterrestrial.
What the hell is that? I've gotten closer to it, and I'm even more confused than I was like 20 feet back. What is that?
A woman was walking through a forest when she saw this on the ground. It was this weird thing. It looks round and has strange parts on it. The woman said that the area is known for having a lot of owls, but this thing looks nothing like an owl. I know I usually have answers to these strange creatures, but Jeremy, my animal plug, doesn't. He says he's never seen anything like this. The lady who recorded this even went closer to take a look and could still not identify what this thing could be. Are we looking at a creature we've never seen before? Oh, share your thoughts.
And I'm even more confused than I was like 20 feet back. What is that?
Tava quente, John.
Não, tá gelado.
Tá gelado?
Tá gelado.
Ué? Credo?
Não, tá esquentando, cara. Tá esquentando. Pega pra você ver aí. Caramba, tá quente mesmo.
Tá mesmo, cara?
Gente do céu.
É pegando ela aqui.
Caraca, meu. Que coisa, cara.
Ela esquenta, cara.
Vamos pôr, ó, põe aqui na... Ó. Ó, não sei se dá pra você ver, ó.
Olha lá as bolinhas lá, ó.
Ó, tá borbulhando.
Ó.
Não é possível, cara. Ó, ficou bem vermelha, cara. Olha isso. Olha, ficou vermelha.
2 men were out in the woods in Brazil when they discovered something extraordinary. Using the help of a metal detector, they unearthed a tiny chest about the size of a hand. Intrigued, they opened it and found a red oval-shaped pearl inside. Curious about their find, the men picked up the pearl, but after holding it for a while, it began to get so hard that they had to drop it onto the muddy ground. When they placed the pearl back into the mini chest, something even stranger happened. It started to change color. What is this mysterious object that can heat up on its own and change color? This discovery is both fascinating and puzzling. It's not every day you find such an unusual artifact hidden in the woods. The fact that it heats up and changes color raises so many questions. Is it something that has to do with the natural properties of the object, or are we looking at a piece of lost technology?
Que coisa, cara.
Ela esquenta, cara.
Vamos pôr, ó, põe aqui na... Ó. Ó, não sei se dá pra você ver, ó.
Olha lá as bolinhas lá, ó.
Ó, tá borbulhando.
Ó.
Não é possível, cara. Ó, ficou bem vermelha, cara. Olha isso. Olha, ficou vermelha.
What do you think your response would be if aliens were to climb onto your roof? Well, the individual in the next clip I'm about to show you thought standing still and recording was the best decision. Take a look. The individual recording believes that aliens made their way to his property. For some funny reason, they chose to move around on the roof of this structure. We don't get to see a face, but the body structure and movement are far from natural, which is the reason for him stating that this has got to be an alien. I was sold on this, well, not completely, just a little, until I saw his comment under the original post. This has me thinking we could be looking at a human pretending to be an alien and that this was probably an attempt to go viral. What do you think? Locals in a remote area were out one night when they came across something that left them completely stunned.
Olha, tá vendo aí, Drayton? Tem gente que não acredita não numa porra dessa, olha. E tá se mexendo, olha. Misericórdia. Como é que pode uma porra dessa?
It was a floating ball of fire hovering eerily above the ground. None of them could explain how it got there or where it had come from. The orbs of flames just there, suspended in the air, flickering ominously as if it had a mind of its own. The sight of it was mesmerizing, yet terrifying. They were all too frightened to get any closer to it. The way it floated was very haunting, but what could this be or mean? Some of the locals say it might be a fire deity being sent to deliver some sort of message or warning, but no one knows for sure what it could really be. What are your thoughts on this?
Olha, tá vendo aí, Drayton? Tem gente que não acredita não numa porra dessa, olha. E tá se mexendo, olha. Misericórdia. Como é que pode uma porra dessa?
If you love fast food, then this next one is for you.
What the noise is that's coming out of my daughter's Panda Express chicken.
This mom decided to give her daughter a treat from Panda Express Chicken because, well, why not? She expected a fun time with her daughter, accompanied by a delicious meal. What she didn't expect was the chicken they were supposed to be eating to be making sounds on its own. Listen. Do you hear that? It sounds like a ticking or tapping sound. I'm not exactly sure where to put that sound, but do you get the idea? Or better still, do you hear it? What do you think that is? While you write your comment, allow me to share some of the stuff the conspiracy theorists said. So we basically have most of the comments pointing to graphene nanotech or lab-grown GMO that's basically not dying. I wanted to say it was probably the heat, but the lady did mention that the chicken was cold. So now I turn to you guys. What do you think is going on here?
What the noise is that's coming out of my daughter's Panda Express chicken.
This woman was relaxing at home on her sofa when something strange happened. The standing fan out of nowhere began to bounce on the ground in an erratic and haunting way. Startled, the woman jumped off the sofa and quickly dragged her child away from the scene. At first, you might think it was just a faulty fan, but then, looking at the woman's alarmed reaction, it's clear that something more unsettling might be at play. Many people believe that this could have been poltergeist activity. Poltergeists are known for their ability to manipulate objects, creating disturbances that can be quite frightening. The sudden, violent movements of the fan could be interpreted as a classic sign of such supernatural activity. If this is indeed a poltergeist, it would explain the fan's erratic behavior without any apparent cause. Adding to the eerie atmosphere, the woman's immediate and instinctive reaction to protect her child suggests she felt an overwhelming sense of danger. Her behavior indicates that she didn't believe this was merely a mechanical issue, but something far more sinister. So what do you think is happening here? Faulty fan or haunted fan? There are countless conspiracies about UFOs using cloaking devices to blend in with our clouds. Well, take a look at this footage by an unsuspecting man.
Oh yeah, look at this. This is cool. There's the spaceship. You see it? It's right there. Yes, it is. I guarantee it, Veronica. Look at it. No, that's what me. Look at it.
In the sky, there was a craft that seemed almost invisible, perfectly blending in with the clouds. It was triangular in shape, nearly undetectable, until it started moving. As it shifted, you could see lights beneath it, revealing the craft's presence. This particular craft is believed to be the TR-3B, a highly secretive and rumored vehicle. But what's even more shocking than the footage itself was the reaction in the comments section. Many viewers suggested that this craft isn't extraterrestrial at all, but rather advanced human-made technology that is being kept hidden from the public. Others speculated that it was created using both human and alien technology. So could this mean that the UFOs we see might actually be the result of human engineering, or at least involving some level of human involvement? If so, what else is being kept from us?
I guarantee it, Veronica. Look at it. No, that's what me. Look at it.
The rate at which skinwalker sightings are becoming more common is truly alarming. Unless, of course, you're a skinwalker enthusiast and are looking to see one for yourself. In this footage, a man was driving down a secluded path through the woods when something shocking happened. The woods on the side of the road were on higher ground, and suddenly a figure, what looked like a man, came rolling down the slope and fell right in front of the car. But what happened next is almost beyond belief. As the figure stood up, it wasn't a man anymore. It had transformed into an animal, specifically a deer. The man had somehow turned into a deer right before the driver's eyes, and then the deer bolted off into the nearby woods. What in the world just happened?
What the?
Take a look at this security footage that was taken at a parking lot filled with tricycles. As you can see, a man was walking by when all of a sudden, one of the tricycles just moved backwards and crashed into a man who was sitting in a chair. The man sitting was unaware of the tricycle's sudden movement, and the one walking by turned in shock to look at the whole situation. There was no one in the tricycle, and they are manually operated. So what happened here? The footage shows the tricycle moving with an unexpected jolt as if propelled by an invisible force. The randomness and suddenness of the movement leaves us wondering if this could be more than just a simple mechanical failure. The tricycle's movement is eerily smooth and deliberate, almost as if someone or something unseen is controlling it. Someone shared this footage of a four-legged creature walking through the woods. It looks like a horse, but it's made of what appears to be roots or something similarly unusual. The movements are fluid and lifelike, yet the creature's composition is bizarre and unsettling. This could very well be an AI creation, given the incredible advancements in technology and visual effects. However, with all the strange phenomena and sightings reported lately, it's difficult to rule anything out as fake or AI generated. The internet has been buzzing with various theories. Some people believe it's a mythical forest spirit captured on camera, while others think it might be a hoax meant to deceive those who like to believe in the paranormal. What do you think? If you don't believe in skinwalkers, then this first clip is just for you. The man, or rather man-looking being you just saw, was recorded by a Trailcam that had been set up in the region of Mount Shasta. A researcher had been informed of strange occurrences in the region, and he set up many cameras in the region wanting to capture the phenomenon on tape. One day, he was visiting the sites where he had set up his cameras and discovered one had been removed. After searching for it, he found it a great distance from where he had originally set it up. This excited him, and he went home to see what the camera had recorded. What you see on your screen is what he found on the Trailcam after tinkering with it. He showed it to the locals, and they told him it had to be a skinwalker. Wanting external validation, he uploaded it onto one of our paranormal groups for their opinions, and many thought the same. There were a few who expressed skepticism about the authenticity of the clip, but the number was not significant. You've seen the clip too. What do you make of it?
Is the government watching you, Bob?
I didn't think they were after 30 years, but, due to recent events, I would probably change.
What happened?
Jeremy and I had a private conversation out in a remote area of my property. Cell phones in our pockets, but turned off.
All filmed.
And filming it. And Jeremy was down there to film some of this documentary. He left the following morning, and simultaneously there was an FBI raid at my place of business.
So the man being interviewed is Bob Lazar, and I will tell you more about him shortly. He went to a private location to film a documentary, and some hours later, he was greeted by the FBI. Bear in mind, I mentioned a remote area. The excuse given by the FBI was that they were looking for an individual who had bought toxic material, but Bob doesn't think that was it. They came with more individuals who could fit into his building, which should tell you something. Why were they trailing him, though? Well, it's because of who Bob is. For those who don't know him, Bob Lazar is a controversial figure best known for his claims in 1989 about working on reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology at a secretive site called S4 near Area 51, a highly classified U.S. Air Force facility in Nevada. Lazar asserted that the US government was studying alien spacecraft and that he was involved in attempting to understand their propulsion systems, which allegedly utilized element 115, moscovium, as a fuel source. He described seeing flying saucers and working on advanced technology that operated by manipulating gravity. Lazar's revelations ignited widespread interest in UFOs and government cover-ups, but his credibility has been questioned. He believes they were looking for lost element 115. For those who are hearing this for the first time, it's known officially as moscovium, or MC for short, a synthetic chemical element with the atomic number 115. It gained notoriety in UFO and conspiracy circles largely because of claims made by Bob in 1989 that it was used as a power source for extraterrestrial spacecraft at a secret government facility. Yes, you heard that right. This is why Bob thinks they have been trailing him ever since. While many believe everything he said over the years, skeptics point out inconsistencies in his educational and employment background, while his supporters argue that these records have been erased as part of a government effort to discredit him. It's a lot, yes, but what do you think?
FBI, what about this as a crime?
They're looking for some of the fuel from the craft that might have been stolen.
Element 115 was always something Bob said fueled the craft, a stable version. And to be direct, which Bob is being direct right now, they were looking to see if he had any of that taken out of Los Alamos where they machined it.
We all thought that electric cars were a significant upgrade from traditional manual vehicles, a leap forward in our quest for cleaner transportation. However, recent findings suggest that this upgrade might come with its own set of problems. Research has uncovered that lithium-ion batteries, which power these electric vehicles, can release harmful chemicals into the environment. These rechargeable lithium-ion batteries contain PFAS chemicals, often referred to as forever chemicals. These substances are notorious for their persistence. They don't break down over time and accumulate in the environment. This accumulation poses serious health risks, adding a new layer of concern to the environmental impact of electric vehicles. PFAS chemicals have been linked to various health issues, including increased risks of cardiovascular problems. As these chemicals leach into the soil and water from deteriorating or improperly disposed of batteries, they can contribute to broader public health concerns. The persistence of PFAS means that their effects could be long-lasting and widespread, making it a significant challenge to manage and mitigate their impact. We all know that the most haunted places are those associated with death and tragedy. It seems like ghosts and entities just thrive in such areas. In this footage, a man is driving by a cemetery when he notices something chilling. There's a woman in a white robe walking through the graveyard. Her head is bent down until long black hair covers her face as she moves silently among the tombstones. Given the lore and stories surrounding graveyards and ghosts, this site raises many questions. Could this be an actual ghost, a restless spirit wandering the cemetery, or is it simply a woman walking through the graveyard for reasons unknown? The eerie atmosphere of the cemetery, combined with the sight of this mysterious figure, creates an unsettling scene. The idea of a ghostly apparition in such a place is not far-fetched, considering the countless tales of hauntings and paranormal activity linked to graveyards. But what do you think she is, human or ghost? Julius thinks she was edited and placed in there, but still, I would love to hear your thoughts.
Hello? Hey, no, stay there. Hey. Oh my God. Dude.
It's okay. It's okay.
The man behind this camera had woken up in the middle of the night to the sound of his dog barking in the living room. Concerned, he got out of bed to check it out, but what he found was unsettling. There, sitting on his couch, was someone, a figure in the dim light. But here's the thing, he lives alone. No one else should have been in his house. So who or what was that? The man panicked. You could even hear it in his voice as he called out to the figure. The figure didn't respond. Instead, it slowly stood up and began walking toward him. It moved closer until suddenly, without any warning, the person just vanished into thin air just like that. Gone. I would have freaked out, but the man kept his cool. Maybe this sight is the first time he's seen strange things like this in his house, but still, it's very unsettling. What would you have done in this situation?
Hello? Hey, no. No, stay there. Hey. Oh my God. Dude. It's okay. It's okay.
There have been numerous reports of strange and puzzling weather phenomena lately, and these clips are a prime example. The first clip was recorded in Saskatchewan. It shows a massive, thick cloud of smoke that appears almost solid due to its density. Some have speculated it might be from a nearby volcano, but it's unclear if there are even any volcanoes in that region. The mystery deepens as no one can pinpoint the source of the smoke. The second clip comes from a resident in Washington state. She stepped out of her house to witness an unsettling sight. A large murder of crows circling a particular area in the sky. The birds seem fixated on one spot, and no one has been able to explain what might have drawn them there. Finally, the last clip is from Chicago, where a resident noticed something unusual in the sky. The clouds were swirling in a spiral almost resembling the formation of a tornado. But despite the ominous movement, the formation never touched the ground, leaving viewers puzzled. The phenomenon didn't seem to follow typical weather patterns, making it all the more questionable. So what could these strange weather occurrences mean? Are we witnessing something unusual happening in the natural world? Have you ever seen a fish with wings? Just look at this marvelous creature. This is the bluefin gurnard, and it truly lives up to its name. The bluefin gurnard is a stunning fish, known for its vibrant blue pectoral fins that resemble wings. When it spreads them out, it looks like it could almost take flight. These fins aren't just for show, either. They're used to scare off predators and to navigate the sandy seafloor in search of food. It's like nature decided to mix a bit of the sea and sky in one amazing animal. What's even more interesting is how these fish move. They don't just swim like other fish, they use their wing-like fins to walk along the ocean floor. They extend these fins outward and use them to probe the sand, uncovering small crustaceans and other tasty morsels to eat. It's a bit like having a built-in metal detector, except instead of finding treasure, they find their dinner. Our next footage was taken in Berlin. There was this strange light in the sky with an odd shape and glow, almost as if it was emanating from a craft hidden behind the clouds or something invisible. The light had an eerie, otherworldly quality to it. Some believe this could be the case of those cloaked UFOs, hidden from our view but occasionally revealing themselves through such phenomenon. Others speculate that there might be a UFO behind the clouds, using some advanced technology to remain concealed. But what's your take on this mysterious light in the Berlin sky? Is it a cloaked UFO, an advanced military craft, or something else entirely? this clip that has got everybody talking. Take a look.
Takot naman to.
At first glance, I see an animal character with a walking stick and possibly some clothes on. But that can't be right. I mean, it's not uncommon to see such things in a cartoon, but real life, there has to be something really wrong and off. That's at least most individuals, including myself, felt about that. But after searching online, I came across different perspectives. Take a look at this one. When you read his comment and take a look at the image again, it does make sense that we could be looking at a dog or coyote with a bushy tail dropped down. And if that's the case, it makes sense that the angle at which he shot it could give us the image we see on screen. What do you think?
Takot naman to.
Mysterious black ring appeared in the sky in Hampton Roads on Tuesday. Several Wavy TV 10 viewers reached out to the station with images and video of the ominous-looking ring floating in the sky. The messages started coming in shortly after 11 a.m. on Tuesday.
Recently in the USA, an unusual sighting sparked a bit of curiosity. A mysterious black ring was spotted in the sky over Hampton Road, and it wasn't just seen there. People across various places in the country reported seeing it too. The paranormal community quickly jumped on this, with many speculating that it could be a portal or something alien-related. The sight of such a perfectly shaped ring floating in the sky naturally set imaginations on fire. However, the skeptics weren't convinced. They suggested it looked like a smoke ring, which led to questions about whether there had been any explosion or fires in the area. But when authorities were contacted, they reported that there had been no such incidents. So what exactly are we looking at here? Could it be some unexplained phenomenon? What do you think?
Several Wavy TV 10 viewers reached out to the station with images and video of the ominous-looking ring floating in the sky.
While we may not fully understand or communicate with animals, it's clear that they are far from clueless, and this footage is proof. A woman captured a fascinating moment when a magpie demonstrated remarkable intelligence and ingenuity. The bird was interacting with a small fire on the jungle ground. The magpie would peck at the fire, picking up embers or small flames with its beak, then carefully using the heat to burn fleas and insects from its feathers. It was as though the bird had discovered a natural tool to solve the problem. This incredible moment serves as a reminder of how animals often exhibit intelligence in ways we might not expect. Back in January 2004, a man and his kids were out for a walk in the Calgary mountain area when they spotted something unusual moving in the tree line. Intrigued and perhaps a little startled, they began recording, capturing what has since become one of the most talked about pieces of footage. The video shows a massive creature walking deeper into the woods. It had the unmistakable domed head often associated with Bigfoot sightings, and its sheer size was astounding and estimated to be between 8 and 9 feet tall. Even one of the kids said it's not an animal. The creature took long, powerful strides as it moved away, and you can see the defined muscle structure on its back. It wasn't running or panicking. It seemed purposeful in its movements, almost as if it knew it was being watched but chose not to acknowledge it. Could this be the elusive Sasquatch that countless eyewitnesses have described over the years? Or is it just another case of mistaken identity?
That is not a human.
A man had been hearing strange noises coming from an old shed on his property for days, and naturally his curiosity got the better of him. So he grabbed his camera and went to investigate. While recording, he walks around the shed trying to pinpoint why the noise is coming from, and that's when he stumbles upon something unexpected. Inside a container, nestled away, is a creature. At first glance, it's hard to tell what it is, but as he gets closer, it turns out to be an anteater. Oh, what a relief, right? For all the strange and mysterious things it could have been, it was just a harmless anteater hiding out in his shed. Next up, we've got a sighting that's left hundreds in awe. Take a look. At first glance, this does look like an everyday cloud with no distinct features, but after a few seconds, however, we notice something odd. A face begins to form. Now, whenever we talk about a giant face in the clouds, an omnipotent being comes to mind. Depending on the religion of the one observing, we may hear different names. The one who uploaded this clip thought the face looked a lot like Zeus. If you try hard enough, you'll notice a nose, jawline, and possibly a beard. Now, when you consider the fact that these clouds came up around the time of a storm was expected, then attributing the face of Zeus doesn't seem so crazy anymore. Since we're speaking of Zeus, am I crazy to think there's another face that could be Poseidon? Maybe I'm just overstretching here. You know what? Maybe I am, but let's move on to the next clip. Here we have some intriguing footage captured by a hiker in the woods. While exploring, the hiker began taking pictures and videos of the surrounding area. As he was panning the camera, he noticed something unusual. A large dog-furred creature appeared to be trying to hide behind a small pile of broken branches. What's eerie about the footage is that the creature was clearly staring at him, and as soon as it noticed the attention, it partially hid its face behind the wood. According to the hiker, the creature had an animalistic face, but there was an undeniable hint of something human in its features as well. Could this be actual evidence of Bigfoot lurking in the woods? Let's hear your thoughts. Do you think the government is spying on us? Well, the one who uploaded this clip certainly believes so and thinks they're using more advanced technology to do so. Confused by what I'm saying? Pay attention to this clip. Did you notice it? The bird's flashing blue, and that's certainly not normal. He thinks those flashes are due to the fact that the bird is actually not a biological being, but a technological creation. He also insists that even if it's not all technology, then it's a hybrid. You know, like an animal cyborg, an unholy marriage between technology and biology. Okay, I digress. Back to the footage. Do you have a logical explanation for the blue flashes that we're seeing, or do you go with the idea of the original poster? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section. Sea monsters and ancient giant serpents have always sparked heated debates. Some people believe these tales to be true, while others dismiss them as myths, but every so often, something surfaces that reignites the mystery. Take a look at this drone footage captured over a lake. The owner of the footage was simply trying to film the landscape when something unexpected happened. In the water, there was this enormous creature moving beneath the surface. Its long body caused massive waves as it swam, making it clear this was no regular fish. What kind of creature could cause such a disturbance? Could it be a modern-day sea serpent, or perhaps some undiscovered species lurking in our waters? Have you ever had one of those heart-pounding near-death moments? Well, check this out. Security footage captured a scene that will give you chills. A person casually walking into a store, and just as they close the door behind them, a metal slab comes flying straight into the door, smashing against it with force. It all happened in a split second. If they had been even a step slower, it could have been a disaster. A split-second delay could have had him split. I just had to. Right off the bat, we start with something Aaron, our in-house conspiracy theorist, has been dying for you to see. Oh, not literally, but you get the idea. Not sure if you noticed it, but if you were paying attention to the capture, a dark gray cloud, or at least something that looks like it descended from the sky towards the car before changing direction and moving towards the woods. The individual who uploaded this clip online believes it may be some paranormal entity, but after watching the clip for a while, well, I'm not exactly sure if that's what we're dealing with here. Julius, our in-house science whiz, believes it's poor video editing based on how the thing looks, and some members of the team, well, aren't having it. Let's just say the team is divided on what this might be. You've seen the clip. What do you think we're dealing with here? Let's hear your thoughts in the comment section. Human trafficking is one of the most distressing issues of our time, and despite years of awareness campaigns and efforts to stop it, the problem continues to grow alarmingly. Every year, millions of children and adults are trafficked worldwide, pulled into horrifying networks that are widespread as they're difficult to dismantle. While some operations are uncovered and stopped, the trafficking networks operate with frightening efficiency, spreading like an unstoppable disease. In certain impoverished regions, the situation is even more heart-wrenching. Parents, driven by desperation, may sell their children in exchange for money or material goods they could never otherwise afford. This tragic reality is especially prevalent in some communities across Africa, India, and other economically disadvantaged areas. What's even more concerning is the role of developed nations like America, which remains one of the largest consumers of trafficking operations. The demand fuels the supply, perpetuating this cycle of exploitation and despair. One harrowing example involves a man who, while driving home, noticed a suspicious van in front of him. His instincts told him something wasn't right, so he followed the vehicle at a safe distance and called the police. When authorities arrived and inspected the van, they made a grim discovery: people being trafficked inside. Traffickers often rely on ordinary citizens ignoring suspicious activities, and it's up to all of us to remain aware, report unusual behavior, and educate ourselves about the signs of human trafficking. Together, we can take small but impactful steps towards eradicating this inhumane practice. Next, we've got this clip from a man who was out in the woods during sundown when he started hearing strange noises coming from around him. The area was mostly open, with just a few trees scattered far off in the distance. As he looked toward one of the trees, he noticed something terrifying. A creature with glowing eyes perched on one of the branches. The creature was crouched sideways on the trunk of the tree, almost like it was clinging to the bark. Its appearance was disturbingly human-like, but something about it was off, something unnatural. The man, gripped by fear, quickly fled the scene, not wanting to stick around to find out what it was. When he later posted the footage online, it sparked a flurry of reactions. Many people speculated that this could be the legendary Rake, a creature known for its eerie, humanoid appearance and glowing eyes. Some also suspected it might be a skinwalker. Not everyone's buying what he's selling, though. Some think it's all made up, while others think he's just trying to scare those who live near him. You've seen the clip, so what do you think? This footage was taken by a man who ventured out one night after a snowstorm. As he walked by an old abandoned graveyard, he noticed a statue in the distance. Even though he was several meters away, something about the statue caught his attention. Pay attention to the clip. He claims that the statue's hands moved. Now, I don't know about you, but when I watched this, I didn't immediately notice anything. But he was adamant that there was movement, and it's one of those things that makes you wonder if your eyes are playing tricks on you, or if there's something more to it. What do you think? Did the statue move, or is this just a case of imagination running wild? In July 2024, a man walking late at night in Bern, Switzerland, captured peculiar footage that has left many viewers, including some members of my team, puzzled. The video shows a strange bright tubular light moving across the sky, constantly shifting its shape. The object seemed to defy explanation, neither resembling a projection, orb, or firework. Its motion appeared deliberate, yet entirely enigmatic. What makes this sighting even more baffling is the absence of any known technology or atmospheric phenomenon that could explain its behavior. Could this be an extraterrestrial craft, an unidentified natural phenomenon, or something else entirely? Late one night, a man was driving home and decided to take a shortcut along a secluded path. As he navigated the dimly lit road, something in the distance caught his eye, forcing him to stop the car abruptly. Leaving his headlights on, he began recording what unfolded before him. The video reveals a man lying flat on his back in the middle of the path, his body shifting slightly to indicate he was alive. Looming over him was a dark, towering figure that defied easy explanation. Its movements were deliberate, yet strange, its form unsettlingly human. The creature was like a dark shadow that didn't resemble any known animal or person. What's even eerier is that it seemed completely unfazed by the car's presence, continuing to move around the person on the ground. The man in the car was frozen by the bizarre sight and made no move to intervene. What could this possibly be? Look at this beautiful little fella, a fish swimming gracefully in the shallow water, and it almost looks like it has blue wings. This stunning creature is known as the bluefin gurnard. Its vibrant, wing-like wings are not only eye-catching but also serve as an important purpose. When these fins are spread out, they resemble wings, giving the fish its unique appearance. The bluefin gurnard uses these fins to scare off predators and to stir up the sand on the ocean floor as it hunts for food. This next footage was taken after a heavy rainfall, and it's got everyone talking. A man was checking on his farm, wading through the muddy ground covered with plants and roots, when something unusual caught his attention. He used a stick to tap the roots, and suddenly they moved. Did you catch that? The roots actually shifted as if they were alive. He even threw the stick further, and whether it landed, the same thing happened. The roots moved again. It's bizarre, like the ground itself is responding. Could this be some kind of natural phenomenon, or is there something more mysterious at play here? What do you think? An observer out in the mountains captured these two glowing red orbs floating across the sky. The footage is strikingly clear, with the red light of the orbs even reflecting off the mountain below. These orbs appeared to be moving deliberately, almost as if they were surveying the area. What makes this sighting even more compelling is the clarity of the footage. Unlike the usually blurry or shaky videos, this one seems difficult to dismiss or attribute to hoaxes. But what could these orbs be? No one's sure, and everyone's just speculating. Are we looking at a genuine UFO encounter, or is there another, perhaps more terrestrial explanation for these mysterious red lights? What do you think? When this clip started to play, I started to hear horror music from all those clips I watched late at night when I was supposed to be sleeping. Let's just say I started to feel like that thing on the screen was in the room with me. That's at least the case till I noticed its legs disappearing in the glass with each step it took. Once I noticed that minute detail, it became AI in the driver's seat of this clip, and every fear I had of it disappeared. Suppose this was not AI, which I definitely believe it is. How would you have handled something like this coming out of your car? Rainbows are typically seen after rain, and most of us recognize their familiar arc shape. But what happens when a rainbow doesn't follow the usual form? Someone recently captured a strange bright patch of colors in the sky that doesn't resemble the traditional rainbow at all. It's colorful and beautiful, but entirely different from what we're used to seeing. This could be a phenomenon known as circumhorizontal arc or fire rainbow, which occurs when sunlight passes through ice crystals in high-altitude clouds, creating a vibrant light display. However, the shape and intensity of this spectacle make you wonder if there's more to it. Perhaps this is a mysterious or fantastical element that it has, but what do you think? This was allegedly captured somewhere in Russia, and it's got the paranormal community talking. The clip initially starts off as an ordinary clip taken by someone out at sea. A few seconds in, and then you notice what looks like a portal. But that's not possible, right? I mean, portals aren't real, are they? Well, if this video is to be believed, that might just be what we're looking at. There are others who thought otherwise, though. They believed that this could be either fog around the sun or an outline around it. I get where they're coming from, but those descriptions don't seem accurate now, do they? Anyway, share your thoughts on what this might be. Here we have another piece of remarkably clear footage of a UFO reportedly captured in Mexico. The craft is distinctly disc-shaped with lights running around its perimeter. What makes this footage even more intriguing is what happens next. After hovering for a while, the craft begins to emit beams of light down on the ground, blinking on and off in an almost rhythmic pattern. Its shiny, reflective exterior is visible. Could this be the long-awaited evidence of extraterrestrial technology, or could it be an elaborate hoax with advanced CGI? What do you think?
Jesus, fuck, watch out.
A man's dashcam captured something truly bizarre while he was driving. The footage shows a white car in front of him taking a left turn when out of nowhere, this happened. A black car suddenly appeared and collided with the white car, completely wrecking its hood. Take a closer look at the footage. There's no sign of the black car anywhere beforehand, and then in just a few seconds it materializes and crashes into the white car. What could be going on here? Is this some kind of ghost car? Could it be a glitch in reality, a phenomenon tied to a parallel universe, or simply a trick of perception caused by an unseen angle in the footage? What are your thoughts on it?
Jesus, fuck, watch out.
This footage captured by a passerby shows a strange orange glow in the sky, almost as if it's revealing or mapping out something, perhaps something cloaked. The glow appears to be an outline or a shape, causing quite a stir. Some people are dismissing it as a hoax, but others, like Aaron, suggest it could be a cloaked craft in the process of either decloaking or malfunctioning. The idea of cloaking technology has always intrigued those interested in UFOs and other explained phenomena, so it's not surprising that some would lean toward that explanation. Others, though, are suggesting it might be a glitch in the matrix, a term often used to describe reality-bending anomalies that don't seem to fit our understanding of the world. Could this be evidence of advanced technology, or is there a more grounded explanation for the glow? A plane flying over the Atlantic captured some truly bizarre images. What you're seeing is a mysterious red glow, almost like flames lighting up the dark ocean. These images have sparked all kinds of theories, because what could possibly create such a fiery appearance in the middle of the Atlantic? Some think it could be volcanic activity under the ocean, with lava heating the water and creating that eerie red light. While this idea has some grounding, the region the plane was flying over wasn't near known volcanic zones. Others have suggested it might be something less natural, like lights from a deep-sea fishing boats, but that wouldn't usually create such an intense fiery effect. There's also the question of whether this could be a reflection of something atmospheric, a phenomenon we don't yet understand. What do you think it could be?
What is that?
Super frustrating. Keep that fucking people. Get back in. Might be the super people now back in.
It's holding its position straight up and down.
It's one straight up and down and staying that way.
This footage comes from Sequoia National Park, where visitors noticed something truly peculiar floating in the sky. The object appeared to have a humanoid shape glowing with an otherworldly light. What's even stranger is that it seemed to be slowly rotating with its arms outstretched and one leg visible. The figure remained suspended in the sky, motionless. Many are speculating this is an alien being casually hovering above Earth, or perhaps a new type of drone or experimental technology. Whatever it is, the eerie glow and unusual shape makes it difficult to explain away. What do you think this strange entity could be?
Probably
What is that?
Super people. Maldakian. Might be the super people, Maldakian. It's holding its position straight up and down.
It's one straight up and down and staying that way.
This eerie footage comes straight out of Jaipur, where a burning car on the streets has left people stunned. The passengers had already been rescued, leaving the car engulfed in flames. But then something chilling happens. The blazing car starts moving on its own. It rolls steadily down the street as though someone were behind the wheel, flames roaring all the while. The sight sent people running for cover and nearby vehicles scrambling to clear the path. What's even stranger is how controlled its movements seemed, almost deliberate, before it finally came to a halt. Locals have since dubbed it the haunted burning car. But was it really haunted, or could there be a more grounded explanation? Could the heat have affected the gears, or did gravity play a role? Still, the way it moved so steadily makes you wonder.
Okay, where is this car that's reflecting on this Boston Pizza window? It's a Corvette C8. I seriously don't see that car anywhere.
A man was in the parking lot of a strip mall with different shops, and something strange caught his eye. As he looked at the window of the Boston Pizza Palace, he noticed the reflection of an orange sports car. The car was clearly visible in the glass, like it was parked right there in front of the building. But here's where it gets weird. As he panned the camera around to check out the parking lot, there was no sign of an orange sports car anywhere. Not even a single sports car in sight, let alone one that could cast that kind of reflection. What's going on here? Is this a case of a matrix glitch where reality itself seems to bend and warp in ways we can't explain, or is there some other explanation that we're missing?
Okay, where is this car that's reflecting on this Boston Pizza window? It's a Corvette C8. I seriously don't see that car anywhere.
Now, still on the topic of aircraft, here's a chilling call that came through a plane's radio. Take a listen.
Approach 8002. 8002 road. My co-pilot just ran out the back of the plane. He just did what now? He just ran out the back of the plane. So you don't have a co-pilot on, you said? No, he just jumped out the back of the plane. Right. Would you like me to circle where he left at? Say that again? Would you like me to circle where he got out at, or you got me on track? We still have you on track. Did you need something else? No, the dude literally jumped out the back of the plane without a parachute. Did you need to do something else, circle or something? Or? No, I need to land. I'm just making you aware you're going to have a dead body out where I just called you at. He just jumped out the back of the plane. You're right. Did it continue on you heading 050? 0500.
The pilot reported something truly bizarre. His co-pilot suddenly got up from his seat and, without warning, ran to the back of the plane without a parachute. The urgency and confusion in the pilot's voice made it clear that this was completely unexpected. So it's strange and unnerving. Why would someone suddenly abandon their post like that, especially without any safety gear? What could have compelled the co-pilot to make such a rash decision in mid-flight? Was it fear, panic, or could there be something more mysterious at play here?
My co-pilot just ran out the back of the plane. He just did what now? He just ran out the back of the plane.
Have you ever heard of the Adelaide Jail? It's one of the oldest surviving structures in South Australia, dating back to the 1800s. It was originally built as a permanent prison. The facility has been repurposed over the years, but its dark past still lingers. With such a history of suffering and death, it's no surprising that the Adelaide Jail has a reputation for being haunted. Visitors and staff alike have reported strange occurrences, from unexplained footsteps to the jingling of keys even when no one else is there. Now, let's talk about this eerie photograph. A woman who visited the jail took a picture inside one of the rooms. At first glance, the image just looks hazy, likely due to movement, but then look closely behind her. There in the background is a dark figure, its head covered by what looks like a hood or a cloak. The woman was shocked when she reviewed the photograph because, according to her, she had felt uneasy and even slightly sick the moment she entered the building. Many believe the jail is haunted by the spirit of a former prison guard whose presence is often sensed in the form of heavy footsteps and the rattling of keys. Given that backstory, many who saw the image believe she may have encountered the prison guard. The big question, however, is why was the guard following them? Why was it particularly behind her? When I first saw this image, I thought, what a funny-looking shark. But then I realized I couldn't see any eyes, and that's when it hit me. This isn't the shark's face at all, it's the underbelly. Looking at it from this angle, it almost seems like a big smiling face with its mouth wide open and rows of razor-sharp teeth lined up inside. It's crazy how perspective can change the way we see things. What looked like a goofy, grinning creature at first turned out to be something entirely different. Nature has a way of surprising us like that. Also, I think it looks like the Joker from Batman. Do you see it? A man was jolted awake in the middle of the night by his dog howling loudly, which was unlike his dog. So he checked his security footage to see what might have triggered the commotion. What he saw was unsettling. In the darkness, a robed figure appeared, gliding eerily across his yard toward the corner of the house. The figure seemed to have a ghostly aura, and the robe it wore flowed as though caught in a strong breeze despite the stillness of the night. It's well known the animals, especially dogs, have heightened senses and are believed to perceive things humans cannot. This howling, which the man heard clearly in the footage, is often associated with the presence of spirits or otherworldly entities. The question is, what was this spectral figure? A family traveling through Quebec, Canada, had an unexpected and eerie encounter on the roadside. They spotted a large moose grazing peacefully near the trees, but as they watched, their attention shifted to something more unsettling among the foliage. In the shadows behind the moose, they noticed a pale humanoid figure crouching low to the ground. It seemed fixated on the moose, its movements slow and deliberate, almost as if it was stalking. However, this creature didn't resemble a typical predator. Its gaunt, otherworldly appearance resembled the infamous rake. The footage left the family disturbed as the pale figure moved closer to the moose. Unlike a lot of rake footage, something tells me this is not a hoax. Am I becoming sentimental, or are we onto something? Despite only being the first quarter of the year, we've experienced many natural disasters across the globe, with the latest being a series of serious earthquakes around the globe. The clip on your screen currently comes from Thailand, where an earthquake has led to some rather interesting developments. The earthquake did leave cracks in the soil, but that wasn't all. When the natives came out, they saw a grayish-blue sand-like substance in the soil. Some thought it was a new substance oozing out of the soil, whereas a few others saw it as a sign of impending doom. After doing a little digging around on the internet, I discovered that the phenomenon is likely caused by soil liquefaction. This is a process that occurs during strong earthquakes when water-saturated soil temporarily loses its strength and behaves like a liquid. As the ground shakes, underground layers of sand or sediment can be forced upward through cracks, creating what is known as a sand boil or earthquake venting. This explains why a mysterious substance appeared after the earthquake. Since the material seemed to be emerging over time, it suggested a continuous release of pressure from below the surface. The grayish-blue color of the sand could be due to the presence of specific underground minerals. So while I'm all for the wild news and conspiracies, it doesn't look like there's any here. At least, not yet. Over the years, we've seen many conspiracy theories turn out to be true, but does that mean all of them are? Recently, I came across footage showing what looked like an ocean pulling away from the shore. In some coastal areas, the water seemed to be receding more and more, leaving behind dry land where there was once waves. There was even footage of scuba divers caught in this phenomenon, the ocean appearing to move backwards. Some conspiracy theorists believe that the ocean is mysteriously shrinking and no one has a clear explanation for it. But then, on the other hand, we constantly hear about rising sea levels due to melting ice caps and global warming. So which is it? Is the ocean disappearing, or is it actually expanding? Could this be fake news? Some experts have already debunked the scuba diver footage, explaining that what we are actually seeing isn't the ocean pulling away permanently. It was actually caused by an undersea earthquake. When a major seismic event happens underwater, it can temporarily push water away before it comes rashing back as a tsunami. So why does false information like this spread so easily? Is it because people want to believe in dramatic world-ending theories, or is it just a case of misunderstanding natural events? First of all, would you buy something like this? According to the seller, the chair is haunted, and as you can see, they're even willing to give it away for free. The chair isn't, however, the only thing we've seen being sold like this. At least the chair is free, the others are not. We've come across haunted dolls, demon-attached pendants, and even complete houses being sold and advertised as being haunted. As creepy as that sounds, we've been trying to establish a bit of truth. Can spirits really bind to objects? If they can, how? Some think it's through possession, whereas others feel it's emotional attachment from their past lives. Sometimes they die while holding onto the object they are said to possess. When it comes to houses, the general thinking is that they become stuck with it. You know how we mentioned souls that have been killed or lost their lives tragically in places and become troubled spirits there? Yeah, something like that. But then again, all these are theories. We don't actually have proof that that's the case. But what do you guys think, though? Is it something that's possible? A homeowner was at work when he received a notification about movement in his house. Checking the live feed, he saw a cat standing at the door. Now, here's the weird part. He doesn't own a cat and the house was fully locked, so he reviewed the footage, and guess what? The cat literally appeared out of thin air. So clearly this is no ordinary cat. Cats have long been linked to the supernatural, often seen as protectors or omens, both good and bad. So, could it be spiritual or just a hoax? It's wild the things I come across when doing research for each episode. The most recent thing to shock me is dirty electricity. Now, before I go further, did you know that there are some scientists who believe electricity could be behind many of the diseases we have today, notably leukemia and diabetes? While conspiracy theorists insist many of the diseases we see today started when electricity was introduced to living areas, mainstream medicine rejects the ideas. According to them, the relationship between electromagnetic fields and diabetes has been explored in various studies, but the results are mixed. A 2008 study suggested that dirty electricity, which refers to transient EMFs in the kilohertz range, might elevate blood sugar levels in people with diabetes, particularly those that are electrically sensitive. The researchers observed that both type 1 and type 2 diabetes had higher plasma glucose levels when exposed to environments with significant electromagnetic pollution. This led to the idea that EMFs could contribute to difficulties in regulating blood sugar, especially in cases of brittle diabetes. On the other hand, more recent research suggests that EMFs might actually have therapeutic effects on diabetes. A 2020 study found that exposing diabetic mice to a combination of static electricity and magnetic fields for a few hours each day helped normalize blood sugar levels and improve insulin sensitivity. The researchers proposed that EMFs might alter redox signaling in the liver, enhancing the body's response to insulin. These findings hint at the possibility of using EMFs as a non-invasive way to manage blood sugar levels. I don't know why, but I have doubts about this recent study. The thing is, I'm no medical expert, but the results don't feel right, especially compared to earlier studies. Since the evidence is conflicting, scientists state that more research is needed to understand the full effects of EMFs on diabetes and whether they pose a risk or offer potential benefits. Have you heard any news or theories on this and care to share what you heard? As humans, we can piece together the past through the artifacts we uncover around the world, and sometimes even through skeletal remains. This is how scientists formed the theory that dinosaurs once existed. Though not everyone fully agrees with this idea, but what if they did? Back in 1944, scientists discovered a collection of intriguing figurines in Mexico. These small sculptures appeared to resemble dinosaur-like creatures, and not just that, but even UFO-like objects. Now, if scientists claim that humans didn't exist during the age of dinosaurs, how could ancient civilizations have created such accurate depictions of them? Did humans and dinosaurs once coexist, or could it be that another intelligent being, if not us, knew these creatures long before modern paleontology? What do you think? A subscriber shared this eerie footage, claiming it was captured during a late-night walk home. He spotted what he thought was a bunny on the other side of a fence across the street. So he pulled out his phone, turned on the flashlight, and began filming as the bunny started to run. But then, out of nowhere, this bunny suddenly lifted off the ground and flew into the darkness. Take a closer look again. Now, how is this even possible? A rabbit taking flight is unheard of, yet here it is, defying the laws of nature. What's your take on this one? This intriguing footage comes from a body cam recorded during a routine police stop at night. The man involved, identified as Joe Collian, was asked to perform a sobriety test, which later revealed he wasn't intoxicated but instead had a disability. However, this revelation isn't the most striking part of the video. In the background, something peculiar unfolds. In the darkness, a shadowy figure darts across the scene at an incredible speed. It's almost too quick to catch, but if you pause and focus, you can see it. A fleeting, humanoid form moving unnaturally fast. No one seems to know what it is, but one thing's for sure, it's not human. At least that's what the community thinks. What say you? Here's an interesting one for all the Bigfoot believers out there. A man ventured deep into the woods in search of Bigfoot, recording his surroundings as he navigated the dense forest. Though he saw nothing unusual at the time, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was out there. He lingered, focusing his camera on the area before heading home, but it wasn't until he reviewed the footage that he noticed something chilling. Hidden among the trees, partially camouflaged, was a face that looked almost human, but with ape-like features, exactly how Bigfoot is often described. The creature wasn't moving, it was just there, watching him silently and intently. While Bigfoot is often described as massive, many also believe that there are experts at staying hidden, keeping their distance from humans and avoiding detection at all costs. There's a theory that they're capable of bending light, which allows them to camouflage themselves. Many who saw this clip believed that's exactly what was happening, but some were skeptical. They felt that this was just not it. They believed either this was staged or the person filming was just naive. Harsh words, I know, but one thing Bigfoot enthusiasts hate more than people saying Bigfoot doesn't exist is someone faking an encounter. Anyway, you've seen the clip, so what do you think? Recently, we covered a video of a strange object hovering over the pyramids of Giza. Now, in this next clip, a woman in Tennessee spotted a similar-looking object in the sky right outside her house. The object is oddly shaped, and no one seems to know exactly what it is. As expected, the paranormal community quickly labeled it a UFO, believing it to be proof of extraterrestrial activity. But skeptics have a different take. Some pointed out that the woman didn't zoom in on the object, making it hard to tell exactly what it was. Others even questioned the legitimacy of the footage, suggesting it could have been clipped from the Giza sighting or possibly edited to create a similar effect. What do you think? A man decided to visit his old school, which was now closed and abandoned. He went there evening time, exploring the desolate halls up to the attic. As he carefully navigated the eerie stillness, something unexpected happened. Just as he rounded a corner and entered a room, a figure moved, quickly walking away. Take another look. Right there. Did you see it? Let's slow down the footage to get a better look. Now, pay close attention. Right here, it appears as though whatever it was got up from the ground and walked off. We don't know much about the school's history before it shut down, but abandoned places like this often have a reputation for housing strange entities after being left untouched for years. So what could this figure be? This intriguing photo, taken in 2005 by a backpacker in the Silver Star Mountains, shows a bipedal figure at a distance. The man, initially believing he saw a neighbor, snapped a picture to capture the moment. Upon closer inspection, the figure appears to have broad shoulders and a build that suggests it could be covered in dark fur. Due to the distance, the details are unclear, but it undeniably resembles the classic silhouette associated with Bigfoot sightings. Interestingly, the backpacker himself refrained from making any grand claims about encountering Bigfoot, simply stating that it was something unusual. However, those familiar with Bigfoot lore are positive that this is the creature. You know how children are always saying weird things and crying? Well, when this photo was taken, the little girl on your right all of a sudden started crying and telling everyone who cared to listen that the little boy was scaring her. The only problem is there was no little boy there with them. She was the only child around, which made the adults think she was having one of those childish episodes kids typically have. They tried calming her down, but she wasn't interested in being calm. They then decided to leave her be and take the group photograph like that. Having her crying in the picture would be funny and serve as a great reference point in the future. The only problem is, when the photograph was taken, one of them noticed there was something or someone smallish on the left side of the image. When she pointed it out, it spooked everyone. "What is that?" they all asked. It was at that moment they realized that the little girl might not have been wrong at all. They uploaded the image online seeking answers, and some members of the community thought it was the ghost of a little child that might have passed on. Some who looked at the clip were, however, not too sure about that. They felt this looked less human than everyone was making it out to be. They felt that this was most likely a duende. Now, first of all, I'm sad for that little girl. Just imagine how she would have felt when everyone was dismissing her genuine concerns. I wonder how many more individuals have been ignored or tagged unstable for the things they see and can't explain. Hopefully they apologize to her later. Anyway, what do you think that was? Next, we got this guy. It's a strange capture that's got everyone in the community talking. Some think it's a new cryptid we haven't seen before, whereas others think it's AI. While I would have initially dismissed the thought and given a logical explanation for this one seems to have a number of red flags. For starters, there's no backstory or evidence to suggest where it was captured. It just magically appeared online. Also, the more you look at it, the more it looks like an individual in a costume. One team member stated that the long forearms are a dead giveaway. I'm no expert when it comes to body parts, but my gut tells me this isn't legit. At least that's what I believe. You've seen the clip, so what do you think?
What are you doing?
Some locals in Malaysia were enjoying a day at the beach when they noticed something unusual in the ocean near the horizon. It was something moving at an incredibly fast pace across the water. The movement was so swift and unusual that it was difficult to identify the shape or nature of the object. While fish can be fast swimmers, this speed seemed to defy what you'd expect from typical marine life, leaving witnesses baffled. Some members of the community even mentioned this, so it could be a marine creature or something entirely unexplained.
What are you doing?
This video was captured by a man out in Kentucky on what seemed like a regular bright day. Suddenly, he began hearing strange noises, but they weren't coming from the sky or any nearby machinery. Instead, the sounds were emanating from beneath the ground. Take a look and listen closely.
There's something under the ground. It sounds like it's about to bust out.
As he moves the camera toward the ground, you can hear the unsettling noise. There were no signs of construction work or activity in the area that could explain it. This has sparked plenty of speculation, with some suggesting it might be evidence of secret underground tunneling happening beneath the surface. But for what purpose? What could be going on beneath Kentucky?
It's over here in the field.
Here we have a picture from way back in 1919. A family was gathered in their living room, posing by the Christmas tree for a photograph. Everything seemed normal at first, but when the picture was developed, they noticed something strange at the top of the tree. There, hovering above the tree, was a hazy, ghost-like figure. It looked like a woman with her arms stretched out, almost as if she was embracing the tree. But what made it even eerier was the way the figure appeared. It had a distorted spiral-like shape, making it look even more unnatural. No one in the family had noticed anything unusual at the time the photograph was taken. There was no strange feelings, no cold spots, and no sounds, just a regular family gathering. This has led many to believe that it could be the spirit of a past family member watching over them during the holidays. Of course, skeptics argue that it could be a flaw in the photograph, a trick of the light, or even a smudge on the camera lens. And for those who believe in the paranormal, this image is chilling proof that spirits might still linger among us. This video provides a bird's eye view of a mountainous area, but something strange was discovered within the landscape. There was an unusually long and oddly shaped rock formation on the ground. It looked like a massive spine sticking out from the earth. Given the many strange discoveries made throughout history, but, what could this be? Some believe this could be the fossilized remains of a giant creature buried beneath the surface for centuries, possibly even a remnant of an unknown species. Others argue that this is nothing more than a natural rock formation shaped by erosion over time to resemble something more mysterious. But what do you think? Is this the sign of something ancient and extraterrestrial, or just another trick of nature? Where were you on the 14th of January 2025? Scratch that. Were you somewhere you could observe the moon on that day? If the answer is no, then pay attention to these two clips. The first one was captured in Tennessee. While the moon looks beautiful in the clip, that's not where the focus is. There appears to be something beneath the moon. Pay attention, you should see it has a much brighter orange hue than the moon does.
There is something right under the moon. Okay, there, you see that? There is an object under the moon.
Oh my god, I think it's an astronaut!
Guys, that's not normal. I've never seen that before.
The individual recording is with his kids, and they can even be heard describing the thing beneath the moon as an astronaut. While that sounds interesting, I doubt we could see an astronaut near the moon with our naked eye. If you're tempted to dismiss the clip as one of those things, you might want to look at this second one from Mexico.
Banda, ¿alguien nos puede decir qué es ese puntito que está al lado de la luna? ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será? Ay.
Does it not look similar? With the Mexican clip, the object is further away, but it still looks the same. The fact that they were all captured on the same day doesn't make a case for this being true. If I'm being sincere, however, I never noticed anything different with my moon on the 14th, but that could just be me. Did any of you notice anything weird happening with the moon on the 14th? Can you share your experience?
Oh my god, I think it's an astronaut!
Guys, that's not normal. I've never seen that before.
This strange-looking object was discovered lying on the forest floor, and the footage of it has everyone puzzled. It's a flower-like thing with a small bowl on it with a tiny hole at the top. When the person filming poked it with a stick, a burst of fine brown dust sprayed out, almost like smoke. The reaction was so unexpected that it instantly went viral. Many viewers online believe it's some kind of fungus, possibly a puffball mushroom, which releases spores when disturbed, but others aren't so sure. Some commenters claim it could be an unidentified organism or even an egg sac for an insect or creature we've never seen before. So a few conspiracy-minded people said it might be a parasitic fungus spreading through the forest, or maybe even an alien, but what do you think? And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. My name is Steve. This has been Classified Captures. Now do me a favor. Share this video with as many people as you can. Friends, family, relatives, your dogs, animals, because I hear there's a few of those that like to watch too. I don't care. And remember, if you want me to comment, Steve, capital letters. Anyway, thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next one.